It is August 2026. We are exactly 90 days out from an election, and Prime Minister Christopher Luxon is walking through Wellington Airport, dodging reporters and refusing to speak. The mainstream press has framed the ensuing chaos as a soap opera, a string of awkward apologies and unscripted promises from a manager struggling with the optics of his office. The failure is systemic. When the Prime Minister's top two deputies both abruptly scrub their media diaries on the same morning, the panic is no longer a matter of public relations. It is a total breakdown of the government's front bench. To understand what is actually happening, we have to stop listening to the spin and audit the raw text. By applying a Maori green lantern lens, we can strip away the headlines and read the math underneath. The airport scuffles and nervous deflections are a smokescreen. The real collapse of this prime ministership is documented in the figures and internal ballots of the months prior. Back in April, the prime minister called a confidence vote in his own leadership. While the public narrative suggested he had secured a mandate, the actual tally revealed a leader holding on by a thread. This chart shows the internal math of that secret ballot: 27 to keep him, 22 against. Just 3 MPs flipping ends his prime ministership. That razor-thin grip has collided with public rejection, crashing to 28.7%, the party's worst result. This political freefall is occurring alongside an 11-year high in national unemployment, leaving the leader with no economic success to shield him from his internal critics. A leader facing these economic numbers with a 5-vote buffer in his own ranks is already effectively finished. Mathematically, his leadership has been a walking corpse for 4 months. To understand why the internal knives are out, we have to listen to the veterans. Former MP Maurice Williamson spent 30 years in Parliament, and he went on the record to expose the exact motive driving this revolt. This diagram illustrates an electoral anomaly known as an overhang. If National wins more local constituencies than their total party vote entitles them to, Parliament physically expands from 120 to 123 seats. When that happens, the party list gets squeezed, and politicians who didn't win a local electorate are pushed out entirely. At 28.7% in the polls, that math becomes a reality. High-ranking list MPs are staring directly at unemployment. They are agitating for a leadership change to manufacture a quick polling bump and save their own careers. The National Party's civil war is being fought over job security, not economic policy. The fractured math in the caucus room is the direct result of the coalition's ideological foundation. The 28.7% polling crash followed a week where the government's internal tensions, admitted by Luxon himself to be a distraction, finally became unsustainable. The coalition was compromised from the start by the ACT Party's Treaty Principles Bill. This legislative attack on the founding document of Aotearoa created the very disunity that has now paralyzed the National Caucus. This was compounded by the toxic rhetoric of New Zealand First. From ministers telling colleagues to go back to their own country to divisive culture war tactics, the government has consistently sideswiped its own prime minister. These policies have earned the government the David Brent comparisons seen in the media. A coalition built on right-wing disinformation and the marginalization of Maori sovereignty is architecturally designed to produce this level of internal chaos. If the caucus successfully rolls the prime minister on Wednesday morning, the core problem remains. A change now would give the National Party its 7th leader in 10 years. Voters would head to the polls in 90 days with no certainty over who is actually steering the country. This self-serving political theater is the exact opposite of true rangatiratanga. Real leadership centers the people. It doesn't focus on list seats and polling bumps while communities struggle with the cost of living. It requires the whānau to remain vigilant. We must read past the mainstream media's superficial reporting and hold these right-wing power structures to account. A coalition built on division and the erasure of te tiriti inevitably produces its own destruction.